Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to ODI for this public event, Localising Aid, Challenging the Orthodoxy. I'm Leni Wild. I work in our Politics and Governance programme here at ODI, and apologies, the chair originally billed, Andy Norton, our Director of Research, was unable to make it. This event gives us the opportunity to learn more about some of ODI's work, investigating a very debated issue around aid effectiveness, namely whether and how to channel aid through local actors and institutions. And the team has explored evidence on the effectiveness of channeling aid to different types of local actors. But they've also, I think, in their findings, challenged some of the key norms around aid effectiveness, as well as calling for a bit of a rethink in how we approach issues of aid and complexity in aid programming. I think this is an important moment for us to be taking stock of these issues. It's increasingly clear when we look, for example, at some of the reviews of MDG progress, that often it is the agency or the strength of domestic actors and domestic institutions that really determines whether or not development progress happens. But we also know that aid hasn't always been very effective, or isn't often effective, at necessarily supporting or working with those domestic institutions. And if we look at the international level, post the Busan High-Level Forum on aid effectiveness, I think we see a bit of an unclear direction of travel for this agenda, and perhaps a more fragmented aid landscape looking forwards. So where do we go from here? Well, I think we have an excellent panel to help shed light on these issues. To my far right, we have Jonathan Glennie, who's a research fellow in our Centre for Aid and Public Expenditure here at ODI, and who is the lead researcher on this localising aid project. He's going to be talking about some of the main findings and the policy recommendations from the work. And before joining ODI, he headed up sort of some of the aid programs at Christian Aid in Colombia, and also wrote a book that I hope you've all read called The Trouble with Aid. So I think he's well placed to reflect on these issues for us. To my immediate right, we're also joined by Alistair McKechnie, who's a senior research associate at ODI, also in the Centre for Aid and Public Expenditure, and a former World Bank country director in Afghanistan, amongst many other positions. And he's going to be offering some reflections for us on the risks involved in channeling aid in different ways, both through and outside of domestic institutions. And I think challenging some of our preconceptions about which of those options might be riskier. And then finally, we're delighted to also welcome Chip Walker, on my left here, who's the Deputy Director for Learning, Evaluation and Research at USAID, and is going to be sharing some reflections about how this research is informing some of the approach and some of the issues that they're grappling with within the agency. So I'll hand over to our speakers, and I think Jonathan will be going first. Just as a reminder, as with all our public events, this is live streamed, so it's on record, and a warm welcome to our online audience. And you can also follow the event on Twitter. We have the hashtag #LocalisingAid. Jonathan, I think if you could take about 10 minutes to give us your top headline findings.
Okay,